Good evening and welcome to the Port Huron Northern High School Band's Fall Concert. For the people that are new to our program, we give four concerts a year, and we start with a fall concert. And because of the way we structure our program, we are able to feature all of our concert bands, our class bands, to start the year and start the concert. And really, the concert bands are the center, the instructional center of our program. And then when I work and the kids work to make these concert bands sound good, then everything else that extends from it has the possibility of sounding really good. This is the primarily ninth grade freshman band, and half of the group meets during first hour and half of them meets during sixth hour. And we meet every day and we play concert music, and right now we're working on building up technique. And there are occasionally some students and families that might say, ooh, can they audition into symphonic band and wind ensemble? And the answer is some of the students are very, very good musicians and might be capable of playing in symphonic band or playing in the northern winds and percussion. But I really believe that the ninth grade band is a really important year to get the students used to our program, get them used to a lot of the practices and the habits and the things that we do and the way that we do them, and get them ready to hopefully be a part of our program for a long time. I do have to take extra time to explain a lot of things to the people that are new to the program. And once I have this taken care of the freshman year, then as we move forward through the program, we don't have to do quite as much explaining. So, with that said, this is our ninth grade freshman concert band, and we will be playing four pieces of music for you. We are playing Shenanigans, and that's kind of a neat little piece, kind of Halloween-y, kind of monster under the bed sounding. And then we have a piece called Midnight Escape, which sounds a little bit like 50s and 60s spy chase type piece of music. And then we play Pandora, which will get a brief further explanation just to explain something about it right before we play, and then we will finish with a neat piece called Flight of the Vampire. Pandora is a programmatic work derived from the Greek myth of Pandora, the first mortal woman. After Prometheus stole fire from the gods for man, Zeus decided to punish mortal men. He ordered Hephaestus to create the first woman, Pandora. She was beautiful beyond compare, but she had been made for a specific purpose, to deceive man. Hermes gave Pandora a box, some say a jar, but told her she must never open it. She was brought to earth and married the titan Epimetheus, brother of Prometheus. Every day Pandora wondered what was in the box, and soon she opened it. All of the evils of the world flew out to plague man. Now this piece has a section, a compositional technique that's called aleatoric. And aleatoric means it is deliberately non-reproducible. There's a real random element to it. So we're going to get about a third of the way into the piece, and you'll hear that, oh wow, the flutes don't sound like they're playing together, and the clarinets don't sound like they're playing together, and boy, they aren't doing very well in this piece. And it's part of the piece. It's supposed to sound like you've walked into a room full of conversations, and in this case, it's all of the evils of the world escaping and building up and bubbling up out of the jar or out of the box. So when we get to that section, again, this is part of the compositional technique called aleatoric composition, and we will now present Pandora. We'll finish the freshman portion of the program with Flight of the Vampire. Take to the skies as a vampire searches for his next victim in this exciting work. The minor key and use of repeated notes help to create a sense of suspense and expectation. Later in the piece, a brief foray into the key of B-flat major gives the listener a momentary illusion of safety and well-being. But this is quickly ended by a return to the original key of G minor as the opening material returns. The dark skies prevail, and the vampire emerges victorious. This is the symphonic band. It's made up of 115 sophomores, juniors, and seniors, and we're blessed in our program to have 3 very nice-sized concert bands, and blessed to have a very talented symphonic band here that's really charging ahead and pushing forward with some really good literature. Good senior leadership in this group, very nice, well-balanced instrumentation, which means we're able to do some really interesting music. The first piece we're playing is called Ghost Riders by Roland Barrett. And Ghost Riders is about a rancher that was driving his cattle to the market, and he ended up having he crossed somebody's private property, and the cows from that private property ended up joining the rancher who was driving his cows to market. Well, the person that owned those cows, who lost them, of course, was very angry. Well, that night, the guy that was driving the cows to the steer to market, put them up on a mesa because it's well protected. It would only take one or two people to watch the cattle that evening. Well, the man that lost the cattle was very, very angry, and during the night, he snuck up onto the mesa and was firing off guns and waving blankets in the air and drove a bunch of the cattle over the edge of the cliff. Well, the rancher got really angry, and the next day he went and he got the guy who drove the cattle off the cliff and tied him to a horse and drove him off a cliff. Another happy story. So just happy stories here. So the idea behind Ghost Riders is that you can still hear some of the cattle being driven off the cliff. You can sometimes picture in the night sky the cattle running off the edge of the mesa, or even the man who lost the cattle being driven off the edge of the mesa. So we'll start with Ghost Riders by Roland Barrett. Have just become a more and more important part of the entertainment landscape. 35 years ago, you had 3 channels on TV, and you had a movie that you could, maybe somebody would sneak you in the back door to, and that's about it. Maybe go to the drive-in. And video games have gradually gotten more and more popular. They're now costing more than movies to make. They'll spend $200-300 million manufacturing these video games, and then they'll turn around and in 1 week make $1 billion back on them. Not a metaphorical billion, a literal $1 billion back on these in the first week of sales. Halo is one of the big video game franchises that's been going on for about 7 or 8 years, and they just released the newest version of Halo. It's called Ghost. What is it? Oh, that's Call of Duty. Sorry. Can you tell I'm 45? It's a video game. You shoot people in it, so that's the game. So they have Halo. Halo has released several versions of it, and the music. Part of the investment in these video games is the great, absolutely fantastic music that they have real composers writing for and real orchestras playing for. Back in the day with Pac-Man and 8-bit graphics and and how many quarters did we pump into those machines? The music has come a long ways in the last 30 years, and this piece is several of the themes from the video game Halo, and in part of this, in the original, they sing in part of the song, and if you listen very carefully, you'll hear our band singing part of this. The last piece we'll play for you is Music for a Darkened Theater. This is the film scores of Danny Elfman, and Danny Elfman has been the composer for a lot of the movies you've enjoyed over the years. This includes themes from Tales from the Crypt, Nightmare Before Christmas, Edward Scissorhands, Beetlejuice, and Spider-Man. We finish the symphonic band portion of the performance with Music for a Darkened Theater. Sitting in front of you is the Northern Winds and Percussion, and this is a primarily seniors and juniors group, a few sophomores scattered in here, and all of the bands in our program have been performing at a really high level for the last several years, and through the strength of the program, and because of the strength of all of the bands performing, our program managed to get an invitation for this group to play at the Michigan Music Conference in January. So in January, we are one of 5 bands. We will be one of 5 bands in the state to perform in front of all of the music educators in the state of Michigan. And it's a very high honor, but we're also very... It's also a little bit nerve-wracking, and the way I've explained it to the kids is you're dancing in front of dancers. So you're playing in front of people that know. So we're working hard to get ready. One of the pieces on this performance is one that we will be playing on the conference. That's the first one. It's called Night on Fire. For anybody in here that is a musician, it's a very interesting piece with lots of shifting meters. It has lots of 5/8, 7/8, 2/4, 5/4, 3/2. Lots of interesting harmonies. It's by a younger composer named John Mackey. We've put a lot of time into this in the last month, and some of our students will tell you a story about the time we put into it and something interesting about the piece. But we have, it's a very, you'll like it, but it'll be one that's kind of tough for you to tap your foot along to because of the strange meters, but they're doing a really good job on this. We now present to you Night on Fire by John Mackey. This piece is called Pachyderm Polka, and it's written by a Michigan composer. His name is Gary Sullivan. He's a gentleman that I've known for almost 20 years. He's a very, very fine band director in the mid-Michigan area. He taught in Charlotte Public Schools. He was the Charlotte High School band director. Again, very fine ensembles. And I student taught with the middle school director in Charlotte, so I got to know Gary pretty well. And when we had to choose our MMC program, I decided to try to emphasize Michigan composers and the Michigan talent and the local talent that we have. So Pachyderm Polka is supposed to elicit the fun and joyfulness and craziness that you would see at a circus. It's Halloween time of year, and so we're going to play some music and that has sort of a Halloween feel to it. We're finishing with Fantasia 2000, includes music from Symphony Number 5, Movement 1, and you'll recognize it as soon as you hear it. And The Sorcerer's Apprentice, if you remember way back when, Mickey with the was put to work in the sorcerer's workshop, and instead of doing it himself, he decided to enchant the brooms and got into a lot of trouble for not doing the work himself. And then we finished with Firebird Suite, Fantasia 2000. Ladies and gentlemen, your 200-member 2013 Northern Husky Marching Band. With field leaderships, senior drum majors Eli Schlager and Spencer Kohanov, and junior drum majors Christy Crotto and Jesse Ankley, and senior color guard captains Emily Wilton and Summer Ort. Please welcome your field leadership. Band, relax for a minute, wiggle your knees, and then go to shoulder width. Drum majors, get ready for the halftime show. Somebody can go up to conduct. Oh, sorry, you're right. I forgot something. Very important, sorry about that. Before we start, I am right now working on next year's halftime show. These performances take a long time to plan. It would help if we got a few more payments in a little bit earlier so I knew how many people I'm charting for. But I start planning the show right about now and start thinking about the music and start thinking about putting stuff on the field. So last year, we were throwing around ideas at this time, and I've already started bouncing some ideas off of kids for next year. So the show that you see here is not something that we decide on in June and just plow forward with. There's a lot of planning that goes into this. This year's show was a great, fun halftime called Sir Elton John. And let's go ahead with our salute to start the show. Field leadership, are you ready to start the show?
Present arms. Order arms.
And 2013 Northern Husky Marching Band proudly presents Sir Elton John.
The opening to our halftime show was
Funeral for a Friend and Love Lies Bleeding. The next part of our show, we bring the tempo down a little bit, and we play play Your Song, and it was voted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame as one of the best songs of all time. And we had many seniors that took turns playing the solos on this, and we decided for this last performance we'll have a bunch of the seniors that played it throughout the year play on this last performance. Your Song. Please feel free to sing and clap along as we finish our halftime show, our 2013 halftime show with Saturday Night's All Right for Fighting. Could the seniors come up to the front, please? It's a big senior class. It's a very talented senior class. Have a lot of talent in the room with us right now from 9 through 12, and we work really hard on developing student leaderships and connections between all of the classes. And this group took what was already a really nice program as freshmen and looked at it as freshmen and said, I like that. I like this, and I want to make it better. And that's one thing that I've really seen about our program over the last couple of years is that we have these students in the program that look at it and say, you know what, it's okay to really like it a lot, and okay to and still want to make it better and better and better. And these, you could see back in 9th grade that these were those kinds of kids. We have very good athletes in this group. We have scholars in this group. We have great artists, people that are great visual artists and great dramatists, and just anything in the school that you can imagine something would be good at. We've got people in this band and in the senior class that are those kids. It's always interesting to me when somebody says to me, yeah, you know, I suppose I could do band, but you know, that other thing is my thing. And these seniors and the rest of the kids prove over and over that music and the arts can be an important part of your life and do all of those other things. I'd like to take a moment to introduce you to these seniors. Ready? Morgan Baker, step forward. Allie Bell, Nicole Boone, stay standing forward. Lauren Flan, Juanita Garcia, Ryan Gaudreau, Kristen Gratton, Callahan Green, Vincent Heidenreich, Tim Hicks, Joey Hollis, Carter Jevons, Lauren Keegan, Camille King, Heather Kraus, Aiden Lukes, Alex Lubbers, Brendan Maxwell, Connor McNamara, Katie Miller, Paolo Mirabelli, Jordan Myers, Zach Nicholson, James Obermeyer, Summer Ort, Alex Perry, Courtney Recker, Maddie Ringvelski, Noah Rogers, Matt Romzek, Eli Schlager, Melissa Sarazin, Nick Shevnock, Mason Smith, Morgan Tenbush, Caitlin Thomas, Chloe Thomas, Danielle Vossen, Tim White, Emily Wilton, Chris Witt, Spencer Kohanov, and Zach Kohanov. Did I miss anybody? No? I got everybody? Big round of applause for the seniors. And I looked up at the whiteboard on Monday sometime during the day. It appeared at some point, and I did my best. This is where I was just a moment ago. I did my best to scribble this down. It wasn't the first game. It wasn't the first one at a band festival. It wasn't the second one at Marching Band Festival, or the third, or even the fourth. It was that last stupid freezing game. That was the proudest moment for me, and everything was perfect. And that's and these kids are, all of them, seniors, juniors, sophomores, freshmen. They make it really easy to get up out of bed every day, and these seniors have been really good leaders for us, and they really have a love for each other, and they have a love for doing a good job, and they have a love for this organization. And thank you very much for being great leaders and taking us up to the next level and showing the next group of people what there is to work for and what we can accomplish when we're all pointed in the same direction. Thank you very much, and a big round of applause for them. Thank you, seniors. Head on back. Here's a list of things that parents, friends, community, and family members have done in the last 5 months. Could you please stand up if you did one of these? You were a chaperone at camp. You bought or sold a product from or for the band. You made a financial donation. If you did any one of these, please stand up. You brought fruit or water to the game. You brought donuts, cider, or hot cocoa to the senior night. You hauled equipment at the field. You loaded or unloaded the equipment truck. You volunteered in the band room. You helped with uniform fittings, hemming. You took 30 minutes to test drive a car. You called friends and family to test drive a car. You bought a bandogram. You advertised a bandogram. You made food, drink, hot cocoa for the band. You organized a field trip. You purchased some raffle tickets. You walked in a parade to keep the kids healthy. You were a chaperone on a field trip. You publicized one of our events and fundraisers through social media. You proofread one of our documents prior to publication. That's important. You stuffed a mailing. You organized a fundraiser. You staffed a fundraiser. You organized parts for the band room. You attended a band booster meeting. You volunteered a service. You bought something for the band. You ran a sales table at a game. You bought band clothing or other band logoed item. You built something for the band room. You attended a dining to donate. You tore down the band room. You helped move the band room to Thomas Edison. You helped move the band room back from Thomas Edison. You hosted an exchange student this summer. You said a kind word about the kids or program and all of the work so many people are doing. And the reason why we can continue to do great things is if you look around, it's a lot of people that it takes to have a really good program. And I can't thank you enough for all the people that are standing here who have helped us out and helped. And band, would you please thank them? Thank you. Have a seat. And I've seen a couple of you at all of these. So thank you very much to, once again, Northgate Ford. Even if you're a GM family or a Chrysler family, I knew a couple people that were GM or Chrysler families, and they said, yeah, I'll take 20 bucks out of Ford's pocket and give it to the band program. I appreciated that. And there were several families that said we're not in town this weekend, and they made a $20 donation. Several families that said we're not in town, and they called and made sure that there were several families coming in their place, and I can't thank you enough. So if you have an opportunity to thank Northgate Ford, I'd really appreciate it. We also have to thank Kim Breyer for all of her work with the uniforms. Big thank you to Kim Breyer. And the really cool jackets that you saw the color guard wear and the drum majors wear and you saw me wear at one game, those were made by Grandma Tim, Ann Tim, so a big thank you to her. And is Jacob Murphin here? Jacob Murphin, is Jacob here? Where is he? Jacob here, and is Jenny here? Where's Jacob and Jenny Bailey? Oh, there you are. They helped run some flags at the last couple of performances, and I can't thank you enough. I have something small for you right here. Thank you very much for doing that. They're alumni, and they saw that we needed some help with some things, so thank you very much for all of your help. We have a very fun piece to end the night with. It's called Everybody's Everything, and it's just going to make you want to boogie. Would all the band your 2013 200-member Northern Husky Marching Band. Thank you very much for a great fall concert. Thank you very much. Have a safe drive. Have a great fall. We have bandagrams on Saturday. Hopefully you can buy a bandagram. Tell somebody about a bandagram and make sure your kids participate in that. Everybody into the center, please.